All right, welcome back to Lane Switching. Today, my guest, Snoozy the Sage, or I should say, Snoozy the Sage.
Yes,
welcome
sir.
back to the web, my G.
Yo, thank you, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
bro,
me.
for sure. So let's just start off quick. Just get into just kind of your early life and your upbringing and stuff.
Well, I grew up in the city of Ottawa, and as a kid, I always loved music. Like I would listen to Haitian music, Michael Jackson, hip hop, most of the time. But like a lot of styles of music. And in high school, like we always used to like rap battle, and I was known as the kid like that could freestyle, that could like answer back, like roast you back if you roast him. So yeah, I would like always rap kind of for fun without even like realizing it. And at some point, I won a poetry contest in high school. And with that, people telling me like, oh, you have a nice voice, you have like a nice pen, pen game and all that stuff. So with this, I'm like, you know what? Let me take it seriously, and here I am now.
Yeah, that's dope. So obviously, you mentioned like how you kind of got into beatboxing and stuff at a very very early age.
Yes.
So when and why did you start making music?
Music? You mean like the beatboxing or like hip hop?
I guess both. When was
Both.
beatboxing, and then when did you transition to hip hop?
Beatboxing. I saw someone beatbox in a movie called Kangaroo Jack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a part where he beatbox, and I tried to like replicate it, and yeah, that's how I started. Like, and when YouTube got popular when I was like around like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would watch videos, do it too, and that's how I learned. And with time, I got better and better.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, and with music, basically, like I said, people telling me that I got the potential to do it, and I was listening to a lot of hip hop. And as you grow older, like you see like the metaphors and all that, and it was kind of fun for me to like notice those stuff. So I try to do it to like myself, and yeah, met people that told me, oh yeah, go to this studio, go talk to this guy, this and that, and yeah, dropped my first song in 2019, and yeah, since then it's been good.
So you obviously you started beatboxing 7 and 8, and then later transitioned to hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Who were like you were first? Obviously, like you saw Kangaroo Jack. That's kind of what made you beatbox. But what artists were you listening to at that age?
When I was a kid, I would listen to Lil Bow Wow a lot. Like he was really popular when I was a kid, and 50 Cent, he was on the come up when I was really young. 50 Cent, Jay-Z. I would listen to Tupac in the car. My mom had like a CD and stuff like that. Like a lot of rappers, like on BET or like MTV or like Much Music. Well, Kanye West, like whoever was like popular, like that would be on the radio. I would listen to him and like be inspired.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So since you've been rapping, you got the name Snoozy the Sage. How'd you end up actually getting that name?
Well, in high school, I was either late or like right on time in the morning, like
yeah,
I just can't wake up in the morning. So my nickname was Snoozy, and a person that's snoozy, like I try to Google it to have like a meaning behind my name,
Yeah.
And apparently it means somebody that's like really chill. But like as soon as they get to know you, like they have like this big personality, Plus like when I rap and when I talk, I kind of sound, like with the deep voice, I kind of sound like I just woke up from a nap, So Snoozy. And the Sage, I kind of got tired that like, I wasn't the only Snoozy, like there was other Snoozies, like YouTube channels or whatever. So I wanted to like distinguish myself. So I added the Sage.
And what does like the Sage mean to you, like that part of the name?
The Sage. Well, the Sage is kind of like, like in Naruto, like when he's on Sage mode. Like you don't watch that?
Like Super Saiyan?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, like Super Saiyan Sage mode. And like a sage, like in movies, it's kind of like, like Gandalf, Yoda and stuff like that. Like he's like the master, like he's not the main character, he's not the strongest, but everybody knows not to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing,
So obviously, like as a kid, you kind of listened to what was ever on the radio or CDs your mom had. But who have you been listening to lately?
Lately, I've been a big fan of Nas.
Oh yeah,
big influence. Nas, Dave East, Benny the Butcher, Hobson, Eminem, and yeah, many more like Chef G, Sleepy Hollow too. Those are like more
so a lot in
recent. Yeah, a lot of New York.
Yeah,
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 a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
New York.
for sure. You listen to WuTang?
Yeah, I have a few songs that I like about them. Yeah.
Have you seen the Disney Plus show with WuTang? WuTang Forever?
Yeah, I saw like a few episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's really dope.
So obviously it's different for every artist, but whether you're in the studio or just at home writing, what is your creative process?
Creative process. I'll say, I search beats on the internet, and when there's a beat that I really feel, I just vibe to it, try to freestyle a little bit, and when I come up with something, I try to like continue or do something around it.
So you have to be inspired of like hearing something or something that's gonna catch your ear to build off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking about your music, one of your most well-known songs you featured on is Lavish.
hmm
How did that song end up coming together?
Well, it's GK song actually. Shout out to him, GK. Respect to that guy. Um, he's one of the guys that I used to like rap battle with. And he started rapping before me. He made a song with Lido and a few songs like
Oh
by
shit.
himself. Yeah. And yeah, basically he's the one that like showed me like this is how it works when you go to the studio. And I went to the studio with him to just see, and he recorded the hook for Lavish. And at first I wasn't supposed to be on that song. That's a fun fact. But the guy that was the feature, like his verse wasn't that good and he didn't want to pay. So he asked me, "Oh, I know you're good at rap. Do you want to hop on it?" So I listened to the beat and I like, give me a week. And after like 4 days, I sent him the lyrics. He's like, "Yo, that's dope. Like, go to the studio like next week or whatever." And I did my part. And yeah, I was really like, how can I say, excited about it, because it would have been like my first like music video.
Yeah.
So GK really like showed me like how it works like in the music stuff. And yeah, man, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it definitely popped. How did Ashley was that your first ever music video you were in?
yeah, yeah,
And
music
how
video.
was that? How was that, process and stuff?
Well, he organized like most of the thing. I pretty much just had to show up. But yeah, we asked people to pull up at a certain spot. We went there, we filmed, and we went to like another spot. We filmed and another spot, and yeah, the rest like Go Vision. Shout out to them too. They made the rest, the effects and stuff, and yeah, like that song, like it really popped, like you said.
Yeah, for sure.
hmm
So your first music video, your own music video, was for Airplane,
hmm
and kind of how was the process of making that all the way back in 2019, and
hmm
how has that changed now in your creative process of making a music video?
well, this video, how can I say that? Like we didn't pay like a company to do it. Like I study films,
Yeah.
so I asked a few guys in my class to help me make a video. I was inspired to like do something with it. Like there was like a light projecting on me and like images behind me, and it was kind of hard, find a projector. We had to rent a room, like a mini studio on campus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we had to do that, rent it. The guys came, they filmed. It wasn't that good, so we had to like reshoot it. And like it was okay, but like obviously now like we're better at it.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it's a good first experience, to see like that I went from this to like better quality, like it's really good.
Obviously your song Unique, it did
hmm
very well. It has a very, very well done music video. How do you feel you can one up that? How do you feel you can get even better than where you're at right now?
What I feel like, obviously, with time, I'll know more people. I'll be able to like shoot better videos, have more budget on
Yeah.
videos too, and yeah, obviously stuff like that. And with more fans and stuff, obviously like the video will like expand more. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um so in 2021 you dropped your first album, Only Child.
hmm
What was the process of creating that? And I wouldn't say your favorite track, but like some of your most notable tracks that like stand out the most to you. Maybe not to the fans, but to you personally.
Okay, yeah. Well, sorry. Um, basically, it was I wrote it like during COVID,
Yeah.
basically. So yeah, went through a breakup. Couldn't go out. We had online classes and stuff, so I was home at home like writing a bunch of stuff. Like I don't know why I was really inspired at the time. Like I would hear a beat, find this, find that, and just do what I got to do, you know. So yeah, really. Plus something happened. Like there was a beef with like me and like another rapper too. So it really inspired me to like talk more shit too and stuff. So
Was that something serious, or was that just competitiveness of rap?
it was competitive and then it got serious, you know, like
Yeah.
how can I say that? Sore losers I can say.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
But yeah, basically, you know, I wrote a lot, went to the studio. Fun fact, a few songs I recorded them in the hotel room because you know you couldn't go outside, so you know, so we had to like sneak in the hotel room. We brought the mics and stuff, and I recorded a few songs. So yeah, it was fun to do, to be honest with you. Like we could make a movie with like stuff that happened, and yeah, you know, like I said, we were motivated. We knew that like a lot of people were home just watching stuff on their phones or whatever, so we had to do it, you know. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
So obviously you're mentioning like kind of like you had a team helping you do this. Like who are some of the guys like helping you, and like what were they doing on the back end that people don't know about to push that music to help it get to the next level?
Well, this rapper, a French rapper named Blaiseau, shout out to him. He has a mic, and basically he rented the room with a producer named Cash. Shout out to him too. And you know, they they did like this mini studio like sessions for like a few guys. I was one of the first that got in, and yeah, we recorded a few songs. And my producer Quest, you know, he was the guy that's like, you know what, I know you and stuff, I like what you do, so I'll allow you to like come to my studio regardless of COVID.
Yeah.
And you know, we just watch out, you know, no shake hands or whatever, and you know, 6 feet and all that stuff. And yeah, man, thanks a lot to Quest. Like really, Quest, he's the one that like he's really known in Gatineau. Cause as for being a producer, it's like he's the one that really like pushed me to like be like where I am now. Like I was known as the guy that makes good songs to like, yo, this is like a serious rapper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And how do you feel on that album? How did you improve from your first EP, Vigilant 2?
Hmm. Improve. Obviously, every time you write, you improve, you know? So I'll say maybe my flow, my versatility, you know? Because there's like drill, there's like jazzy song, there's like, you know, a bunch of stuff. And it's more original, you know? And I said, you mentioned like a song that stands out for me.
Oh,
I'll
yeah, yeah.
say unique. Unique, you know, obviously like I freestyle like the first part, like actually the hook, I freestyled it and then, you know, wrote it. And I just like the vibe that came with it, you know. And Houdini.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
Houdini,
good one
like when
too.
I rap fast and stuff like that. Fun fact, Houdini, I wrote it before I had the idea to do the album. But I didn't find like a right beat to it.
Yeah.
And now, you know, now that I wrote it, and a lot of people, like especially like hip hop heads, they say that I really love Houdini, you know, compared to like the other like catchy ones. So yeah, it's really, plus it's nice to perform, you know, when I
Yeah.
perform and people see that I rap fast, they're like, wow, okay, this guy's dope. So that's why it's really special to me.
Yeah, you were mentioning kind of subgenres of like going and do more of a jazzy beat or more of a drill beat. Is there like a type of beat that you gravitate towards more than others?
Yeah, nowadays it's more jazzy beats, you know, because I mean, they can be catchy and just like a vibe at the same time, you know, like you can just, even if you don't listen to the words, you can just like bop your head to the beat and just chill, you know, kind of like lo-fi.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you mentioned Quest. Is there any like, and this could be rappers, videographers, whoever it is in the industry. Is there anyone in the future you want to work with? And it doesn't even just have to be Ottawa, just anyone in general.
In general, well, in Ottawa, I'll say Nino Corleone. Like we're both from the east. I have a song with the Boozy coming up soon.
Fire.
But yeah, you know, I would like to make just a big like rap song for like to represent the east side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like we're slept on in this city.
Yeah,
And
most definitely.
outside, I'll say maybe Gorillas. like the
Oh
group
yeah, that would be
Gorillas.
sick.
Like I just do a rap verse in their song because like they're really original. And maybe Chef G,
Oh yeah.
Chef G, Davies, Nas. That I'll be really honored to make a song with Nas, because he's like really like, how can I say, like a prophet in hip hop.
Yeah.
And so far that's who I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Just going back to Nino, is there any chance you ever think in the future there'll be a East End tape? So a tape that's only East
Mm.
End. Basically, it could be Nino, it could be Boozy, it could be yourself, it could be all sorts of different talent from out here in the East. Do you think that there's ever a possibility of that coming together?
Yeah, it is possible. Like if a lot of like rappers from the East End are down, we could definitely do it.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anyone kind of outside of the East End you have either already worked with? I think you have a song with. Do you have a song with OTG Stiffy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So is there other ends that you kind of have worked with or want to work with in the future?
Want to work with? I'm down with pretty much everybody. Like
Yeah,
if
that's
you
fair.
if you're dope, like I'll work with you.
Yeah. And so when kind of I'm not quite sure how it goes, but when you go about doing features, whether you're doing the feature or you're asking someone to do a feature, is that something where it's like an email or do you EM them or do they just look up your rates and they kind of know how much it is for a feature from Snoozy?
Most of the time they just DM. They just DM and like, oh, I saw your stuff. You're really good. I would like to know if you want to make a song, or like they send me a beat and oh, you want to hop on it. Basically, that's how it works. And if I'm inspired, I'll accept.
Yeah. And is it are you picky with who you feature for or is this kind of anyone that reaches out you're like that's a big enough move to, take the time out of your day to reach out and hop on a track with you.
I'll say picky,
Yeah.
but not too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not very like I said, I'm versatile. So any type of beat I can hop on it. And I'm pretty much I'll just look at your skills basically. If you're good, I'll accept, and if you're trash, you obviously I'm gonna just be like, you know what, like get better and like come back later.
Yeah. No, fair enough, for sure.
Yeah.
So what motivates you? Obviously, probably getting somebody who you fuck with be like, hey, yo, hop on this shit, or whatever the case may be. What
Mm-hmm.
motivates you though to make music?
Mm. Just life in general, to be honest with you. Everybody's going through stuff, and sometimes you see stuff around you. So it inspires you. Sometimes just the beat can inspire you to just freestyle some stuff. For me, and yeah, basically that's what got started. Like nobody, how can I say that? Nobody cared about what I had to say until I had a beat to it.
For
That's
sure.
that's how I see it. Like a lot of people, like when you talk to like about stuff like with music, that's when they listen to you more. So basically, I just had something to say, and I used music to do it.
No, and music is a great outlet to get your point across and kind of express yourself, whether it's just like kind of telling your story or just kind of letting people know who you are.
Exactly, exactly.
So like, I mean, obviously, you kind of use it that way. It's also is music kind of like a release for you, and you just
Yeah,
kind of it's kind of like you can get like your thoughts out of your brain onto the pad.
exactly. Instead of like getting mad or whatever, like I just use music and boxing, to like express like my anger and stuff like that. So,
Oh, so you do boxing?
hmm
When did you start doing boxing?
2-3 years ago.
So is that kind of more, would you say, of a hobby, or would you ever compete like to actually
No,
do
no,
boxing?
it's definitely like self defense and a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
for sure.
just to stay in shape, basically.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
Hmm.
And I think I met you for the first time. I've said it multiple times, but at 613 Takeover, I think I
Hmm.
met you there. Um, Obviously your set was dope, but
Thank you.
when was your first ever live performance?
My first last my first live performance as a rapper was on the Bourbon Room at the Bourbon Room. My bad. We performed Lavish. Like I said, like it really popped. So they contact us to perform there. I think it was Biz Loke that we opened for Biz Loke, and that's where I met like other rappers. That's where I met Jake Real. Shout out to him. And yeah, it was dope. Like obviously a lot of people, like I didn't have problems selling tickets. I barely had to like ask people. So yeah, it was dope. the crowd was nice and it was a really good experience.
So, do you have any like performances lined up, or do you think you'll get another performance in before the end of 2022?
Yeah, so far, Quest is organizing a festival in September, and yeah, he wants me to be there. So obviously, like I might perform there,
Yeah, for sure.
and there's a DJ that I know. Basically, he spoke to like his manager because like he DJs at the club, and he's like, yeah, speak to him and stuff, and maybe um in maybe few weeks, months, I might get booked to like perform there.
Yeah, I
So
mean
yeah,
that would be dope, and definitely to get your music out there even more. Live performances are big because I
exactly.
think it's people feel more than just the music; they feel like the energy of your performance. So if you leave a lasting impression, that person will go home, listen to your music, tell a friend about your music, and can even go further than there. Is there
Exactly.
any projects or singles you have lined up for the rest of the year?
I do. Not a project, cause like I really released like you said a EP and an album. So what I'm doing right now is I release like one single per month. I release one single per month to gain like more a bigger fan base. And yeah, maybe later, like if I'm satisfied with like the support and stuff like that, I'll be like, you know what? Like next year, or whatever, I'll release an album.
Do you think you release like a song a month? Is it just so you're consistent, or do you think it's more? It's almost like setting yourself a deadline. Like I know by the end of this month, whatever it takes, I got to drop a track.
Um, it's being consistent because it's a month. It's not like a song every week. Some people do that. Like Russ, I know he used to do that, and like it'll be kind of hard, especially that I don't have a studio at like at my house.
Yeah,
But yeah, like when I go to the studio, like I have like a big notebook with a bunch of rhymes in it, So like I just got like a file with like at least like 10 songs that I could just if I stop going to the studio, I could just like wait each month and post,
yeah.
post and post. So yeah.
So when you go to the studio, do
Mm-hmm.
you already kind of know? Like, do you almost have in your head like a track list that you wanna, like, I want to get all these songs done at this time, or do you kind of just like whatever the vibe is, like are you feeling like, oh, I'll just bang this one out and then, oh, I might write down one and then freestyle a bit, or do you
Mm-hmm.
just you know what you're going into?
Yeah, I know what I'm going into basically because I write on paper my stuff, and I write a lot. So sometimes I go to the studio and I make like 4 or 5 songs like in one session. So that's that. And sometimes after the studio session or like before, I was probably like writing something like maybe like one verse for a song and like I just need a second one and all that. And sometimes I need to go back because somebody like asked me to do a feature and stuff like that. So yeah, basically I just how can I say that? I don't improvise, but like since I have like a bunch of like ideas, I just put them together like one by one and it end up being like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And when you go into the studio, do you smoke weed or do you drink, or is it kind of just like just going in,
I'm
I'm
just
about my business, I
I'm just
work?
going in basically because it's not in my house.
Oh, fair,
And
fair, fair.
and I don't smoke weed, so I just go. I have my ideas in my head already, like I know my song and stuff, and I just go, basically.
Yeah, that's dope. So obviously we're kind of at the midway mark of the year, but what can we expect from you for the rest of 2022? And even if you have in mind, or even some stuff that you aspire to do next year for 2023, what's next for Snoozy the Sage?
What's next? I'll say more singles, a few music videos, and yeah, that's it. Just try to expand my fan base, and for 2023, hopefully more performance, more fans, and maybe a project.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, and I mean, if you stay consistent with it, you're only going to grow your fan base and get to the next level. Um, that's about it. That's the interview. That was lane switching. My guy, Snoozy the Sage. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Snoozy_Rude and YouTube and all platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Snoozy the Sage.
So across all platforms, Snoozy the Sage.
Yeah.
So go follow Snoozy the Sage. Hit subscribe on Lane Switching. Keep following Lane Switching. We're going to have a lot more interviews coming out. Snoozy the Sage, DF2. That was Lane Switching. Peace, y'all.